What is going on, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love? My name is Jamal Pope, aka J Phoenix, and this is going to be your daily astrology reading for Friday, November 15th of 2024. I appreciate you all joining me in this video, trusting you guys are having a wonderful week. Let's go ahead and hop into today's video to see what the planets are doing so we can see how you can be better prepared to navigate these celestial energies. I've got to say, I don't know why this says Wednesday, even though it's Friday. I don't understand what's going on here. Now I gotta go in and adjust it. That's weird. It's stuck on Wednesday for some reason. I wonder why it's doing that. There we go. Now we're back on track. I gotta say, after not doing these for a bit, I honestly feel like I'm a bit off my game. I'm not even gonna lie. It's like a muscle. If you don't keep working at it, it begins to atrophy. So, this first week of videos, I do feel like it's a little bit rough around the edges, but I'm gonna keep going and keep moving forward. Sometimes you gotta keep going forward even when you don't feel like it. In fact, that's oftentimes where you should push through the hardest, is when you don't necessarily feel like it, because you're not always going to feel 100%. This is going to be an interesting day, though. This is the full moon in Taurus, and this is also going to be the day that Saturn is stationed. So, not only does everything feel slow, but we have a full moon on top of it, and it's going to be with Uranus. So let's just go ahead and just fast forward and just take a look at that, right? So that's going to be later on in the day. We're going to see this happening pretty much at 23 going to 24 degrees of Scorpio. We're right there. That's actually my degree. It's 24. Yeah, it's going to be right there at 24 degrees of Scorpio. Man, look at that. As my particular is 2441, if I want to get very precise. But we have a full moon here with Uranus. This is going to be happening around 4:28 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and this is going to be a doozy. This is going to be a strong one, right? So, of course, full moon, release points, Taurus, but it is with Uranus. That's definitely going to throw a very interesting, wild element into this. And, of course, we have Saturn, which has stationed. I believe that we are going to get ready to receive some type of news and some type of information very soon, very quickly. And I'm thinking that this is going to have to do with Joe Biden stepping down, honestly. I think he's going to resign, and I think we're going to see Kamala Harris have the presidency for 2 months, and then Trump will eventually be in there in January. But that's just what I'm starting. That's just what I'm feeling. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen. And the astrology honestly supports it. I even came across an article where one of Kamala's aides, of course, encouraged Biden to step down and resign. And of course this would happen. It sort of feels like a weird consolation prize for her and stuff, and it's just very interesting. But I would not be surprised if we see something like this happen. Now, how this is going to affect us, you on a personal level, well, of course, you got to see where Taurus is in your chart. I'm not going to go sign by sign exactly in detail as far as this goes. But what I will do is I could talk about this degree because I was born with this degree, right? So 2 is the moon, 4 is Uranus, which nets to a 6, which is Venus. Venus happens to be at 4 degrees of Capricorn, which is a Uranian degree, and Uranus is with this full moon. So this is a full moon that's going to be very weird, very out there, very off the charts. You're not going to be able to pin the energy down exactly. It's definitely very mad scientist kind of energy. And with it being in Taurus here, Taurus, of course, does deal with our values. It does deal with money. It does deal with some of the simple pleasures in life, too. But we have to realize that those things are going to look different for every single person. This is Uranus, right? So some people, it may be something weird. That's the thing that kind of gets their socks off or really makes them feel alive. It's also one of those things too where I've noticed, and this is just an example, is people that live to their 90s or their 90s or even 100, whatever, like that. You know, I've noticed that a lot of them, especially the ones that seem like they're still in really good shape for the age, they always have some weird thing that they swear by. That's part of the reason as to why they've lived so long. Like maybe all they drink is Dr Pepper, and that just seems like it works. Like maybe they barely drink water, but all they drink is Dr Pepper. But they probably also walk every day. They probably garden every day or something like that. There's always some type of movement that's also added to it. But there's also a weird thing that's involved that contributes to that person's success. And I think today's going to be a day about looking to see, where are those unique talents and gifts that we have that, we can bring more out into the world, where we can, kind of expose that and release that more into the world. Now, like I said, Saturn is stationed here, and you actually see that by the time that we get to this full moon, it will be stationed direct. So this is an interesting moment here because now some doors and some opportunities are going to start to open up when it comes to progressing some of the dreams that we have, some of the visions that we have, and actually taking action on those things and actually moving forward. But it's going to start off a little bit slow, of course. But this is kind of like an interesting, like, I mean, if we think about like my whole cosmic convergence and how I was doing that and how Scorpio was Act 4. Essentially, we're entering into the last week of said act, and we're about to see something click forward. And it's going to be out of nowhere. It's going to be random. It may not necessarily be Joe Biden stepping down. It could be something else, but there's definitely going to be some news that's going to come, and it's going to be a shock to at least a lot of people, that's for sure. Uranus also does deal with groups of people, too. So I wouldn't be surprised, if we see, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if we see people leave groups, join groups, if you will. People leaving, what's the word? I don't know I know what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to find the words for it. But it's like if you have like maybe different groups of people or cults or anything like that, I can see people joining cults, leaving cults, if you will. It's a massive reshifting point, if you will, this day. So, because like I said, we do have Venus still here at 4 degrees of Capricorn, Mars here at 3 degrees of Leo, so their quincunx is coming to a close. We have Mercury there at 16 degrees of Sagittarius, right? It's coming off of the square to Saturn that it had earlier in the week, and of course, it's heading towards a trine with Chiron. So, and let's just go ahead and read the degree. Might as well read the degree. So, um, let's see what we have going on for this. And I know the traditional degree, like the traditional degrees, but as far as like the updated Sabian symbols, I don't remember this one off the top of my head. So, let's see. An X-ray photograph helps with the diagnosis. This symbol shows being able to see into areas or realms that others generally don't take any notice of. You may find yourself looking for a deeper understanding of situations that you need to peel away the layers in order to get to the truth of the matter. You may need to employ both the emotional and the intellect to ask yourself what do you want to find and what is being done to reveal the structure of the nitty-gritty of situations. Looking inside for clues, being able to see through layers into reality of things to help you to understand and be able to make a diagnosis. Dia, which means by, and gnosis, which means knowledge, right? Diagnosis. Penetrating insight, having the eyes and intuition to see, evaluations, photographs, radiation, x-ray vision, connecting the dots, finding causes, insights, revelations, disregarding the truth, evading people's mental, physical, or psychic space. So I would say be careful, especially with a full moon, just be careful of psychic attack. Being intense and meaningful, not knowing when to relax, undressing others. So we can take it too far to where we're looking for meaning in things that there's not really a deeper thing there. I know as someone who lives with this degree every single day, there are moments where I'm like, everything has a deeper meaning. And then I've also learned that not everything has a deeper meaning. But this is about like, are you going to go look for answers and kind of create answers in your head and looking for things that aren't actually there? Or are you kind of actually opening up and being the observer, if you will, But then if there is something that you can sense intuitively that there's something deeper, then do your investigations and trying to look at things with, a more intuitive eye, if you will. But you also don't want to necessarily go creating situations where there may not actually be anything there, right? So just something to be careful of with this. As far as the card that we have for the day, I do have the Five of Swords. This is an interesting one. It does show, was it horror? Yeah, well, it's actually set. So it's Iris, and she's mourning. I believe this is right after Osiris actually had been slain too. So there's some like Egyptian mythology type stuff here. But this is the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords is an interesting card because it does kind of speak to a sense of victory, but at what costs? So I think we have to ask ourselves, if there's a victory that we're looking for and an answer that we're looking for, what is the cost of actually getting that? We may actually find ourselves coming up in the win column, but is it going to cost us a relationship? Is it going to cost us, is it going to cost us our spirit? Is it going to cost us, our integrity? We have to ask ourselves those questions, especially because this is the Five of Swords. This isn't the big war. This is just one battle, right? So ask yourself, is this win for this particular battle worth it in the long run? Or is this just going to give me some temporary ego boost that is really going to only last a short time and it's not actually going to lead to the promised land, if you will? That's going to do it for your full moon in Scorpio astrology forecast. I trust that this message will assist you on your journey this Friday. And y'all take care. Stay blessed. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And I will see you all on the next one. Peace.